So these are my hormone and gut health hacks. And some of these are, going to be fairly simple, but there's such grace and simplicity, right? Do you remember how I talked a lot about decreased microbial diversity? Remember how we talked a lot about that? That was a really key point, because one thing that we really want to do is increase the diversity of our gut as much as we physically possibly can. And one of the easiest ways we can do that is with the food that we're eating. So yes, we can take probiotics, but we also know that for the most part, probiotics don't actually repopulate the gut. They can alter certain functions and do things like that, but they're not necessarily going to repopulate. So what we want to be doing is feeding the good stuff that's there and enhancing that function. So diversity in the foods that we're eating is critical to this. So I'd like to give you a challenge. And in functional medicine at the moment, what we're trying to encourage people to do is have 30 to 40 different species of plants per week. Does that sound tough? It's actually not that hard, but it does take a little bit of planning. Now remember, plants can still be things like nuts and seeds as well. So it can be your fruits, veggies, salads, anything along that spectrum. Particularly anything with colour that has those polyphenols is so important for our gut health as well, because naturally those substances, so just the colours in those vegetables, naturally help to enhance the good parts of our microbiome and keep in check some of the pathogenic stuff as well. So that's a really easy thing that you can start doing right now. Now I know for some people that amount of diversity can sort of wreak havoc on your gut, and there's certain types of gut conditions that may not do well with that, but for the general population, increasing that diversity is only going to have a good beneficial effect. Now with that, what we want to do is also increase our fibre intake. So one of the easiest gut hormonal hacks that you can start doing right now is up your fibre. So the way you can do that is, so you're going to take your 30 to 40 different species of plants, then you're going to break that down into having about 2 cups of vegetables with each meal. It's easier than what it sounds. It does just take a little bit of planning. And that fibre is the essential nutrients for the estrobolome. So it's actually really aiding that hormonal balance, that hormonal metabolism detoxification. That's just with the fibre that you're eating. Pretty cool, right? So far we're going to look at having maybe 30 to 40 different plant varieties during the week. We're going to try and up our fibre, so having 2 cups of veggies with each meal if possible. The next thing that we can do, and we really need to ditch the fads or the yo-yo diets. Can we all just agree that dieting doesn't work? Particularly those really restrictive diets. They've done a lot of research into looking at the long-term effect of some of those very restrictive those yo-yo diets as well. Some people may lose weight intermittently for a short period of time, but overwhelmingly it shows that they put that back on, usually fairly quickly, and then their set point is higher than that as well. Because when we go into that starvation or that famine mode when we're on those restrictive diets, it's actually activating our famine pathways in our genes. And that effect usually lasts a hell of a lot longer than what the diet does itself. So there was some research done that was looking at a group of people who went on a 1,400 calorie diet, which is not really that restrictive comparatively. There's some that are much more restrictive than that. And it showed that it changed the hormones in their gut that's essential for their metabolism, their digestion and everything else for 14 months after 8 weeks of that diet. So it takes our body a really long time to recover from, kind of that starvation mode. And a lot of people are dabbling in lots of kind of nutritional starvation at the moment. So I think that we can agree that diets don't work, and that yo-yoing is really detrimental to our system as well. Particularly when we're really restrictive, it also increases our reverse T3 production, which shuts down our thyroid. So it's just going to exacerbate that metabolic picture. Okay, so we're increasing our plants, we're increasing our fibre, we're ditching the diets, and we're going to up our exercise a little bit as well. So one of the best ways we can again improve our diversity is just with exercise. And I think we tend to overcomplicate exercise so much. You definitely don't need to have like a fancy gym membership to do this. You don't need, like really fashionable activewear or be shopping at Lululemon to exercise effectively. All we need to be doing is moving our body every single day. There was again research done in rugby players, of all people, that showed that they actually have the best microbial diversity compared to others, or people who are sedentary. Now, I know a lot of rugby players, and they are not the healthiest specimens, but their microbial diversity is amazing. They've also shown that people who exercise at certain types of gyms, particularly if they're doing weights, that the bacteria that are around the weights are part of the Bacteroides phyla, and they're the really good stuff. That's the stuff that's associated with good metabolic control and weight loss. So I'm wondering if just being around people who exercise, maybe just, lifting weights is going to help you to maybe catch fitness or catch better microbial diversity. Does that make sense? But just don't overcomplicate it. All we need to be doing is moving our bodies every single day.